Hello, my little mathematicians. Today we're going to review order of operations, distributed property, simplifying expressions, and evaluating expressions. You ready for this wild ride? We got this. Okay, remember you can always pause the video, try them, and then unpause it and come back to check to see how you did. So for this first one, when you're doing order of operations, I want you to always write that phrase PEMDAS, PEMDAS. P stands for parentheses, E is exponents, MD is multiplication division, and AS is addition and subtraction. Now notice how I kept multiplying and dividing together and A and S together because these come before adding and subtracting, but it's not always that you multiply before you divide. It's whatever comes first of these two you do in that order of like whatever comes first. And then you do any of these before you do any adding or subtracting. But when you're deciding between adding and subtracting, again, you do whatever comes first, like from left to right. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. So first, any parentheses? Nope. Any exponents? Nope. Multiplication or division? Yes. And again, it's not always multiplying before dividing. It's whatever comes first of those two. So 48 divided by 4 is what? Yep, that is 12. Okay, so 12 times 6 plus 4 times 2. Well, now what am I looking for? I see some multiplication, and that is 12 times 6 is 72. And 72 plus 4 times 2. Okay, so multiplication, I still got some more right here. 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 plus 72 is, 80. Okay, for my next one, you have parentheses, no. Exponents, yes, right here. This 3 squared, which is not 3 times 2, it's 3 times itself 2 times. And what is 3 times 3? It's 9. Okay, so bring down your other stuff. Okay, parentheses are gone. Exponents are gone. Do you see any multiplication or division? Yep, right here. And 4 times 2 is 8. Bring down your plus 9 minus 1. Okay, now you have addition or subtraction, and you do whatever comes first from right to left. So those two combined make 17, and 17 minus 1 is finally 16. Now for this one, I would treat the top separate from the bottom. So you have 6 plus 4 times 5 minus 2. So first of those, no parentheses, no exponents, but multiplication or division. 4 times 5 is 20. Bring down your minus 2 and plus 6. Okay, and then again, when deciding between adding or subtracting, you go from left to right. So that's 26 minus 2 is 24 for the top. But don't forget, we also have this bottom in parentheses, that's 8 divided by 2. And 8 divided by 2 is 4. So you have 24 on top and 4 on the bottom. What does that reduce to? Yep, 6. Okay, again, if you haven't tried any on your own yet, make sure you pause the video, try it yourself, and then unpause it and come back. Okay, so you're back with us, and you did 5 squared. What'd you get? And you're like, wait, why do I do that? Well, because inside the parentheses, you still do order of operations. So you have to do exponents before you do this adding. And 5 squared is 5 times 5, which is 25, plus 10. Okay, and then divided by 7. Well, what is 25 plus 10? Yeah, that's 35. Divided by 7 is 5. Okay, for my next one, you have 8 minus 6 is 2. And 2 cubed is not 2 times 3, it's 2 times itself 3 times. So that's 2 times 2, which is 4, and 4 times 2, which is 8. Okay, now parentheses are gone, exponents are down to a single number, and then you look for any multiplication or division. Right here, 12 divided by 3 is 4, and 8 minus 4 is 4. Okay, last one of these. Parentheses in the back right here. What is 7 minus 6? Yeah, it's 1. Bring everything else down. Okay, you have parentheses down to a single number. There are no exponents, so you do multiplication or division from left to right. So first off, we have 36 divided by 6, which is 6. Bring everything else down. Oops. Okay, parentheses gone, exponents gone. Here's some more multiplication. And then now when I'm looking, you actually have another multiplication, because when you have a number touching a parentheses with no sign between it, that means that you're going to multiply these. So I want to multiply 3 times 1, which is 3. Okay, so I had to do that before I could add, because remember that multiplying always comes before you do any adding or subtracting. And now finally 24 plus 3, yep, you should have gotten 27 as your final answer for that one. If you did, great job. If not, like, you can go back and try some more similar ones. Okay, here, when you see the distributive property, or if you see a number out in front of parentheses, you want to distribute it into each thing inside. So that means you're doing 5 times 2x. Well, 5 times 2 is 10. Tack on the x. Now you're going to bring down your plus sign, and you're also going to distribute that 5 to the 4y that's inside. Well, 5 times 4 is 20, and you tack on that y. And then you're like, okay, well, I can combine this to 30xy. Actually, you can't, because these are not like terms. This has an x, and this has a y. They'd have to be the same letter to the same power in order to combine them, and since they're not, that's as far as you can go. Okay, for my next one, what's 3 times 9a? Yeah, you should have said 27a. This time I'm bringing down a minus sign. And then what's 3 times 2b? 6b. Now, can I combine those? No, because this is an a and this is a b. Those are not like terms. So that's as far as I can go. Okay, now what I said by like terms earlier, that's like right here. Do you see how this is a 2x and then this has an x as well? So then I can combine these. What's the term, or what's it called for the number in front of a variable? The coefficient. So you're going to add those coefficients. 2 and 9 make 11x. And then the other letter I see is y's. So I'm going to combine those coefficients. What's 10 minus 3? Why did I subtract this one? Because there's a minus sign in front of the 3. So you have a positive 10 and a negative 3. What's 10 minus 3? It's 7y. And then finally, you have what's called a constant. That's a number by itself with no variables. So those are like terms. What's 5 minus 3? 2. And then that's as far as I can go, because I have variable x of the variable y's combined, and then I have my constants combined. And none of those are like terms, so that's as far as I can go. Okay, almost done. Last row. So here you have an a squared. So that means whenever you see an a, you're going to plug in whatever it tells you. And that was a 4. Okay? And then you're going to plug in whenever you see a b, you're going to plug in, what does it say? A 2. So evaluate is kind of like the word substitute. You're substituting in what each variable is equal to. And that's why we don't combine things that aren't like terms, because each variable technically stands for a different number. Okay? And so that's why we would only combine like things. So here, I again plugged in 4 for the A, and I plugged in 2 for the B. And now I just do what it says. So I'm going to square the 4. Well, 4 times 4 is 16. Plus, what's 3 times 2? Well, 3 times 2 is 6. So 16 plus 6 makes 22. Okay, this one is a little bit tricky. What are you going to plug in for the x? A 4. And what are you going to plug in for the y? Yep, a 6. And you're like, that's not that tricky yet. Okay, do that first part. What'd you get? Did you fall for the trap? Do you want to know what the trap is? The trap is 3 times 4, which is 12, and then 12 squared. No. Does it say 12 squared here? No, it does not. It says 4 squared, right? So you're squaring the 4 and then multiplying that by the 3. And here's what I remember is right here, like this is a single term, and you got to do the order of operations first, right? So you got to do exponents before you multiply. So 4 squared is 16, and that's being multiplied by 3, so you get 48. Plus this other term right here, 2y, well, 2 times y is 2 times 6 in this case, which is 12. So then what's 48 plus 12? 60. That was pretty tricky and hard, huh? Okay, you got this. What's this one? Well, you have b squared, and they said that b is 5 minus 2c, and they said c is 4. So what's 5 squared? Yep, 5 times 5, which is 25, minus what's 2 times 4? Well, 2 times 4 is 8. So then finally, what's 25 minus 8? Yep, 17. All right, my little mathematicians, you now hopefully should be masters of PEMDAS, or order of operations, distributive property, combining like terms, and evaluating expressions. You got this. You're going to do fantastic.